Welcome to Different Walks, Different Talks.
Now we have the next episode with Michael Mokry. And now we're just going to talk a bit more about like transitioning into high school and like your favorite subjects and like any clubs or anything that you like or in sports. Like, if you go ahead, I can go first. So I already said like moving into high school, I did tennis. I really wanted to do basketball, but then I realized organizational basketball is just not that great at, and I didn't really pursue it as much. Like I feel like if I really did pursue it, maybe I could have gotten better, but I didn't really like do much of the training programs and stuff like that. And then I did more like clubs. Yeah, I did more clubs and tennis.
Yeah. So honestly, like I'm not really that active in the school. One thing that I was part of was school reach in grade 9.
Oh yeah,
So
school reach. Yeah, school reach.
There was this one day I was part of like woodshop, but I mean that doesn't really count. So yeah, not really that much.
Why does woodshop not count? I was thinking
no,
of
like
joining
I
that.
was just there for like one day. There was this one thing that I wanted to do. The thing is, at that time, it was kind of like a big process where it's like they want to make sure you're safe. So there would be this, like,
so you couldn't do what you wanted to do.
Yeah, kind of. So I thought like I'd just be able to quickly take advantage of the school's resources, but it wasn't really that way.
No, it's not. You think you can just go in and make your little project, but then they give you all these things and all the safety run throughs, and then it's like, oh, I can't do anything here.
The thing is, on Tuesday I will be going back because actually, Callum's, so we live right across from Callum's grandparents.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of interesting. So like I mean I see
Callum's grandparents on which side, do you know?
I mean so I'd be on the north side, Callum's grandparents on the south side.
No, sorry, I meant like his dad's side grandparents. Or?
I don't know for sure. All I know is that their names are Ron and Dorothy, so I don't know what their last names are.
I don't know them. So you live right next to them.
Yeah.
Are you building something for them or something?
So what happened was that like they had this tree in their yard that had to be like pruned. So like they were taking some branches off, and I just saw like the wood just in front of the yard, and I was like, I need some wood, like especially if it's free.
Oh my god, it's like Minecraft.
So what I did was there was like the guy with the truck in front of it that was just gonna like chop it up and like mill it into wood chips.
Oh right,
yeah. So the thing is, I did that. So I came up to them when I saw the guy, and I was like,
give me the log, give me the log.
Yeah. So I was like, so I like this would be a really good opportunity for me where like I take stuff like this and like I make some like crafts.
Was it like a freaking log, just like an untouched piece of wood?
So it was like a long branch, about I'd say from 4 to probably a bit bigger than like.
And you have a wood shop in your basement or garage?
No, this is my garage. So I got some woodworking tools.
So what did you want to make with it?
Picture frames.
Picture frames.
So I did in the past, but the thing is, like at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing, especially with just like the way that wood dries and stuff like that, where it got wonky. Because the thing is that.
All right, you told me about that. Yeah.
So on you have the inside of the wood, which is like the heartwood, and that gives it the structure. So usually that's a darker color because it's inactive. And then on the outside of the wood, you have the sapwood, and like as the name, that's where the like the sap goes through. So if you have a piece of wood, and especially if you have the hardwood and the sapwood, then what will happen is as it dries, it's going to bend towards the side of the sapwood as it contracts more than the hardwood.
Okay.
So because of that, you can't just cut a piece of wood up and then like wait for it to dry and then use it.
So you have to do it quickly.
Yeah. So no, not that. It's just that you have to wait for the wood to dry because when the wood's wet, then it'll rot.
Oh. And then you went to his grandparents. And
yeah, so he had a whole bunch, like he had the like those.
Because they were cutting down the trees in the backyard.
Yeah,
or something? Okay.
So I was like, "Do you mind like cutting this stuff like into like 2-foot sections and like I could take it?" And it was like, "Yeah, no problem." So we got his chainsaw out, cut it up, and yeah, we got like a whole bunch of just logs in my hand. It's just the thing is, I had this little saw that I was used to cut it, where it's a bandsaw, and it's different from like other, let's say, a table saw where it's just a circular saw disc. What it is you have 2 wheels, and then you have this big, like just like a band of saw, and there's like a motor on the bottom, and it spins the wheel.
And the blade is like
so the blade continuously goes down.
Oh, I've never seen that type before.
Yeah,
I've seen is like the blade like this, and then you have the little band saw that goes.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's really good. Where unlike a jigsaw where it goes up and down and it vibrates like crazy, the blade goes straight down. And like you don't have any of those issues as well. You can like because it's not this massive like thing, it's just like a really thin blade. You can cut like really large thicknesses with it without having to have a massive tool. So like something that I would be thinking of like getting in something that the schools would.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Yeah. So the thing is, yeah,
because the bandsaw is so small, and then you're restricted to the
So
the size
if you were
of
to
the
have a
wood.
circular sawmill, pretty much the maximum that you could ever cut with it is, well, I mean, there's some tricks that you could do, but it's not optimal. But the maximum is just like half of the diameter, like the radius of
Right.
the wheel, because I mean, you need to have your motor, and then that's like that part that sticks out.
So what are some like projects you made?
So what yeah, that's one funny thing where there was this one YouTuber that I found like during COVID. It was called Marling Bates, and he was like into fishing and he would make lures.
Mhm.
And the thing is, this is before the time that I got all these tools, so I kind of wanted to try something that he was doing. So what I did was I just took a block of wood, and then again, because all the tools that I had, I wouldn't be able to cut those small shapes. So what I did is I just took it, and then I took a piece of sandpaper, and I just sanded it to the final shape.
Sanded the whole
Yeah,
piece of wood to the final.
Yeah, so like there's like some jokes that
Bro,
you might
you're like
see.
that guy, you know, Shawshank Redemption.
I don't know.
You're like the person that like made those little chess pieces from rocks
Oh, wow.
in jail because that's what you could do.
So
How long
like,
did it take you? Like
it took
a month?
5 hours.
5 hours. I thought it would take way longer.
And the thing is like,
Just 5 hours. You sat there. And
yeah,
you
just
sanded.
like the thing is, this is like
Jeez.
5 continuous hours of sanding.
You did not find that boring at one point?
That's the thing. Like I find because I had no other way of doing it. So like, if I really wanted to have this fishing lure, then that was the only way.
I guess
I'd be
like
able to
you could do it, right? There's
know
no
what I
other
mean?
way you could have done it.
Yeah, so I took it, I painted it.
That's a
and
whole
stuff
lot
like
of
that.
patience, man.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and it absolutely sucked. So you're still
Did it finally look good though?
It looked good, but it absolutely sucked. So
What do you mean it sucked? Like the whole process?
no,
sucked?
so just the fishing lures, they have different types of actions. So there's ones that are just supposed to go on the surface, and there's ones that like when you reel it in, it goes like beneath like, the surface of the water, and then it kind of vibrates back and forth.
Oh,
so then,
so
like,
it looks like a little fish. So what does yours do?
Yeah. So what mine did was because
Loyal about
yeah,
like
so you're supposed to weigh the fishing lure in some places with lead,
right.
so that
right,
it has like pretty much you have that point of center of mass where it'll be able to
wiggle around.
Yeah, wiggle around, as well as you want to make sure that it's like the right orientation.
Yeah. So
And,
what happened to yours?
Another thing that they have is this like little plastic lip where when you pull it in, the plastic lip will dig into the water and it'll make it go under it.
Oh, okay.
So that mine was way too small, and also the lure just wasn't heavy enough, so it would just be on the side. And when you would do it in, it would do absolutely nothing.
It looks like a dead fish.
Yeah, so like it would just drag across the surface, and it was like really useless, honestly.
Wait. Oh, I didn't even know this. So lures actually like to make a good lure, it needs to be something that's like fish-like or like animal-like.
Well,
Like you can't just have like a piece of floating morsel. That wouldn't really work.
the thing is, like again, the Marlene Bates especially, he just made a lure with just a stick that he attached things to. So I mean, fish are pretty dumb.
Okay, so yours should have worked then. Yours would have worked. Your lure.
It probably would have worked.
Just wasn't as nice.
Yeah, it's just the thing is, if you fish in a place that's really fished, then the fish are going to be smarter. So they know that if you have something that looks kind of off, they're not going to go for it.
Right.
But if you have like a place that's called like virgin waters, they call it, where it's just a lake that's never been fished before,
never touched,
then they'll go after absolutely anything. You know what I mean? Because the fish are super dumb.
That's fun.
But yeah, like I wouldn't have been able to do it, so that's why I got like the tools that I have now.
So that's like the hobbies you do now, like just wood shop. And stuff, right?
I mean, there's dozens of things because
there are dozens of things.
Yeah. So one thing is that I feel was really important that my parents did was they didn't give me a phone. Now I have a phone now, but they never got me a phone, and because of that,
to get a phone.
Yeah. Because of that, I've been able to learn a whole bunch of things that I would have never been able to learn otherwise.
With a phone?
Well, like let's say playing video games. So I never played video games ever.
But you get on the computer.
Yeah, that's like video editing and stuff like that. But
no, but you could have played video games on the computer though as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing, I didn't.
Yeah, right.
So I would only be watching like documentaries, like reading my dad's like books and stuff like that. So yeah,
I mean it's a very productive way to spend time. I wish
Mhm.
I could do that more.
So I have like a whole bunch of interests. So like I mean, woodworking is one
Right,
thing, but
yeah,
also
'cause-
into like metalworking, like planes. And the thing is, like I would have like little projects that I would want to do when I was a kid. So in grade 4, one thing that I wanted to do was blow off the moon. So I would have
like the despicable.
So I would have a whole bunch of like technical drawings. Where it's like I would have this like little tiny 6-foot rocket, and I would draw like all the parts that would make up the engine and stuff like that. And I would have this like mock-up like control panel that I would be like, okay, stage 1, this and this is gonna happen.
This is fun.
But what kind of ended it was that I took these pieces of paper and I just taped them all together, so I would have this like really long strip. And then what I did was like I would draw with a ruler a whole bunch of lines for like different altitudes. So what I would do is, as at this altitude, I would press this and this button. And the thing is, I would just keep on having to change the scale. And then I was like a quarter of the way there, and I had 20 pieces of paper like taped together. And I was like, this isn't possible. So I kind of gave up on that. The thing is, as I became more and more knowledgeable, then my ideas start to get a little bit less crazy each time.
That's actually, that is like so your dreams are dying.
Yeah,
when you realize the reality.
Another thing is, I wanted to make have an airplane in the airport. So I mean, one like movie that I would watch was Wallace and Gromit, where it's this like claymation thing. It was like quite old, so we had the DVDs for it, and they had a whole bunch of like engineering things. So that's kind of also what got me into it. And they had this like little tiny airplane that like the dog, I think, would fly in the movies.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, this could be kind of cool. So I was like pretending, like how fun would it be if I had an airplane that had a 6-foot wingspan and stuff like that. So I was like pretending, like where would I be able to make an airport for it and stuff like that. So stuff that is basically unobtainable.
Wait, have you ever seen this small airplane? Have you seen the thing? There's an invention of a tiny airplane that people actually fly in the U.S. I saw them on Instagram.
I mean, there's quite a few of them. At least, one airplane that I'm looking at now, which would be really nice if I'd be able to get eventually, is like this Shark airplane. And what's kind of interesting is in the...
How big is it?
Well, I don't know the wingspan for sure, but in the European Union, if a plane is under 600 kilograms, then it's considered an ultralight, and that basically makes it a lot easier to get. So like if you were to have, like, let's say a much simpler pilot license, let's say. So instead of it takes you 60 hours to get the pilot's license to be able to fly, it takes you 20 hours.
There's one I saw on Instagram that you don't need a license. It's like a little flying object.
Oh, I see.
Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Have you heard of those? Right. Those look so cool.
So those are like
so dodgy as well.
Yeah, so these are called like in the...
Those aren't even planes, I don't think. They're just
I mean, they are, but...
They are, right? But there's like one person. Have you seen it? They're barefoot when they're flying. Have you seen those?
I've seen it, yeah.
So cool.
That's the thing. So in the European Union, the class is like 600 kilograms. Well, with here, you have another class, which is like ultralight. And there apparently to what you say, then you don't need a license to fly them.
But have you thought about getting one of those things maybe in the future?
They're kind of sketchy.
Yeah, they are kind of sketchy.
So, I mean...
They do look kind of way...
The thing is, like, with this airplane, you would have, like, 2 people in it, and it goes really fast. It's able to go, like... I mean, there's this one engine that they got. Like, there's a new engine that they're trying it out with. And apparently it can go, I think, 4,000 kilometers on, like, a tank of gas. And it's just as efficient as, like, a hybrid car. So, like, usually people say that, like, airplanes are incredibly fuel inefficient.
Right, yeah,
But this can get, like, 5 liters per 100 kilometers.
Why don't people do this more?
Same as, like,
it just looks so sketchy. That's the real problem, I guess. The small airplanes.
I mean, like, the one that I'm referring to now is a different type of...
Okay, right.
The small airplanes, I don't think they're that safe because you don't have anything really.
No, when you fall, you fall. There's no emergency parachute or anything.
And the thing is, it's more of, like, just for the fun of it. Where at that point, like, I'd probably rather just do paragliding, let's say, compared to something like that.
Right. Paragliding. At least you feel safer, right?
Yeah.
There's a parachute, right? Have you ever thought about doing paragliding? I've seen ones in Australia. They do it in like teams. It looks so fun. They do it for hours and they catch the vents.
Yeah.
And they see who can go the furthest and all of that. But then when you land in some random person's farm, then you have to like wait for the guy to pick you up, and it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. But I guess you can't really do it in the U.S. because people shoot you when you land in someone's farm, right?
Yeah. So there's one family friend in Slovakia, and they actually went paragliding. So yeah, he does that, and then unfortunately, when he was landing, he broke his leg. So he
no.
it off. But
wait, it's that dangerous to land with paragliding?
That's the thing. It's like majority of the injuries are when you land because like,
that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna
like,
injure yourself.
If you injure yourself when you're flying, then you're dead.
You know
like there's not really injury case. That's a death case.
Yeah. So
I guess I guess it is dangerous.
But anyways, I just really like airplanes.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about like your culture with like Slovakians. Have you ever went back? Like how connected are you guys?
Yeah. So again, because of the business that my dad had. Before, like when I was young, let's say in elementary school, we didn't ever go really.
Yeah, not have time, right?
The only time that I remember was like once, and then before I didn't remember, so it was like only twice. I think one time in kindergarten, but then in 2018 we went, and this was in the wintertime. Like the 2 times that we went before were in the summer.
How was it?
I mean, the 2 times in the summer, I don't really remember. All I know though is that my cousins did not like me. It's like I would just cause trouble. Where there was this one thing where.
You would cause trouble. Were they like,
I was
wait, you were the mischievous kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. So you're like the kid that like broke the light bulb back in the
Yeah, a little bit.
the private school.
No, so I would just be messing around. And one thing, because I was like really young, so one thing that they did that kind of pissed me off was they have these things called mukolapki, which is kind of like fly catchers, where it's pretty much just like this little cartridge that you pull out, and it's this big strip of like sticky tape.
Oh, to catch flies?
Yeah, and then what they do is like it's sweet, so the flies land in it. So I caught this one butterfly, and then what they did was they took the butterfly away from me, and then they sticked it on there, onto like there. So like the butterfly was like pretty much dead after that.
Oh no!
So I was a little bit sad from there, but like I mean that was pretty nasty there. So my mom said that when I was young, I was like swinging on somebody, and then I kicked somebody after that to get off of it.
But how is Slovakia like compared to Canada? Like, what
so
does it
it's definitely poorer than Canada, at least the area that we're in. But like the nature's really nice there.
What's the landscape like?
So it's like a mountain range. So
okay, like Banff.
A little bit lower than that. So when we went there, like last year, we went on like a mountain that was 2,500 kilometers tall. It was actually maybe it was like a year before that. But I mean, there's different types of mountain ranges on it where Slovakia has the shape of kind of like a peanut. Where
I didn't know that.
you have on the west side, you have like Bratislava, which is the capital, and like on this border, which is with Austria, there isn't really anything. It's pretty much just flat. But when you go just like more east, you have like called the Malafatra, which I mean I don't know what Fatra means honestly, but pretty much just like there's a smaller mountain range, and then there's the Tatry, which is like the larger mountain range.
So when you go this way, it gets bigger.
Yeah, it gets like more and more mountainy, and it's like all of the mountains are pretty much just on the border with Poland. Oh, so one of the mountains, it's Risi, which means lynx, and this is in the High Tatry, and it's the tallest mountain in Poland.
Oh wow!
And there's like 3 peaks, so it's pretty much like a border mountain between Slovakia and Poland.
That's kind of cool. So when you went back there, like, was like the cuisine and stuff different there as well? Like,
yeah, so they have
what do you guys eat?
They have this one. I mean, the thing is, because Slovakia used to be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, they take a lot of like inspiration from their cuisine from other countries. But one thing that Slovak they call a halušky.
Like, what's the national dish?
Yeah, so that's what it is. So
yeah.
It's what you do is you take potatoes and you just shred them really finely, so you kind of have like a potato mash, and then what
potato mash.
Yeah, and then what you do is you mix flour into it until it's like you get like a dough. And then what you do is you take this dough and then you put it in this. It's kind of like a sieve, but it has
like
these
what? Sorry,
it's kind of like a sieve.
Oh,
like the thing is, I mean, it's like if it's how do I put it? Pretty much, it looks kind of like a frying pan that's made of sheet metal, and there's these big holes in it. And then you put the dough into it and you kind of push the dough through. So pretty much like chunks fall out on the other side into boiling water.
It becomes like it becomes like a pasta.
It's okay. It's quite similar to gnocchi, which is like this Italian dish where
I don't know what that is.
It's basically you take boiled potatoes and then you mix it with flour and then you put
no.
Okay.
Right.
So basically it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's what
except the shapes aren't nice. It's just pretty much whatever red stuff comes out of the other side.
And that's the national dish.
And then it's like instead of like the boiled potatoes, it's just raw potatoes. But then what they do is they take this stuff called like brinza, which is like sheep's cheese.
Sheep cheese.
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's kind of like a paste. Like if you wanted to, you could spread it on bread. But what you do is you take that and then you mix it into whatever, like the halušky, whatever. And another thing that they add on top of it is you have like bacon, but it's not like the bacon that you get here where it's like a lot of meat. They have this like really fatty bacon where it's like you can't.
I know what you mean.
And then they chop it into cubes. They fry it up and then
those are good. Those are good. I think in Italy they call it something else, right? Yeah, in China we have that too.
I see.
That sounds like a nice dish. Is there any like sort of sauce with it, or is that?
I mean, so
sounds a bit dry. Or
like the sauce is kind of like the cheese stuff. That
right.
Because the thing is, it melts and then it kind of like goes all together.
Oh, do you like that dish?
I like it a lot. The thing
it sounds pretty good. Yeah.
So my mom used to do it with cottage cheese when I was little because she didn't really like it because her grandfather didn't really like the taste of the beans of the sheep's cheese.
Yeah, maybe like too gamey or something.
Yeah. But then we went to Slovakia. Then I tried it. And she was warning me about it, and she was saying like, "Oh, like it's not gonna taste.
You're not gonna like it, Michael. Don't have that."
No, what's kind of funny is though, it's like we went to a pizza place, and then I had it there, so it's kind of funny that I actually had like the most Slovak thing in a pizza shop. But then I really liked it.
Yeah.
And then after that, when we came back to Canada, she would like find like a source at other Slovak church that we go to in Mississauga. There's this one guy, like we just call him Bacha, but like bacha is pretty much just like the name of like a sheep, like shepherd type of thing.
Uh-huh.
And then what he does is he goes to Mennonites, and then he gets like the sheep's milk, and then he turns it into a whole bunch
What is
of products.
Mennonite? Sorry.
It's kind of like the Amish.
Oh.
So it's like people that lived the life like maybe 200 years ago.
Oh, so he
without
goes
just
to
stuff
them
like
to
that.
get the sheep? Huh?
Yeah, so like they all
Oh.
live on farms and stuff like that. So
Oh, wow.
he goes there, he buys the milk, and then he makes a whole bunch of different stuff with it.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, so like every like few months, we would just go there and get a few containers of it, and then we would.
So are you guys like, okay, I might be like, this might come across offensive or stupid, but like, are you guys close to like the Amish community, or is it like
Not
way
really.
different? It's
No,
way
no,
different, right?
No, not even close.
Where did the Amish come from? Like,
I think it's like a German thing.
oh, right.
Because like the thing is, it's more of like a religion.
Right.
It is-
Than your guys.
Yeah.
thing. Your guys is more like your cultural. Like,
Yeah,
heritage.
it's just a cultural thing. It just so
okay, I
happens
see.
because like they all have farms, and you know what I mean. It's
Okay,
just, like,
and
that's
they
just
get
a good
they have
source.
the
So
milk.
yeah, so
Got
I
it.
think that's just like a good source of the sheep cheese and then
Okay,
milk,
okay, all right. That sounds.
yeah.
And what about any traditions or anything? We have the
Well-
Lunar New Year. We have that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
do you guys
so-
have anything interesting?
I mean, it's mostly just like religious traditions.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, mostly it's everything that we would have here, like that would be like Canadian, whatever, let's say. But they just kind of like do more of it.
I see.
A little bit. It's a bit strange in my opinion. One weird tradition that's I'm pretty sure mostly Slovak is I think it's on Easter.
So soon.
Or-
So like right now.
Yeah, and what you do is what the guys do is they get buckets of water. And then they find some girl that they like, and then they just dump the buckets of water.
Sounds like a fun tradition. I like it.
And then what they do is they have these like sticks and like decorated and stuff like that, and then they just beat them with it and stuff like
They
that.
beat them with sticks
yeah,
afterwards.
yeah. So like you dump them on it, and then like you beat them with sticks. So it's kind of like a whole thing. So
Beat them with sticks, like really hard, or just like tapping?
no, it's more of like just,
It's like a funny thing.
joke. It's
Oh.
like you know what I mean.
Did you ever
It's-
partake in
No,
such traditions,
no,
Michael?
no. No, and it's like it's kind of weird. I have no clue where they come up with stuff like that.
Wait, and does this happen during church or something? Like
No, this is just kind of like an outside. Of,
Oh, okay. Like you're like okay.
No, that's just like a separate Slovak thing that I have never heard of any like nowhere else happening.
All right. That sounds kind of funny.
But anyway, so just like those mountains that are there, so we would go up.
And
a
you
few
do a lot
every
of
so
hiking
often.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
so my mom really likes hiking because of that. So we would do like let's say Glen Eden here or whatever. Just like this is the Halton Parks.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really compare. To
No,
what
it
you have
doesn't.
in
I know what you
Slovakia.
mean. Back in New Zealand, and here the views just don't really like.
Yeah.
Like
So like she
It's
likes that. She likes to
equivalent.
go on walks pretty like. I mean, if she could, she would go every single weekend, but I mean, it's not really an option.
what about like fishing and stuff? Is that like one of your main hobbies, or like one of your passionate stuff that you do?
So I do have a lot of fishing equipment.
Yeah, right.
The reason why I got it is because like one of the houses in the U.S. that my dad did. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that. So so the thing is, as house prices kept on increasing in Canada, so after we moved to Burlington, it just wasn't obtainable to do it like here anymore. So what my dad did was he started to do it in the U.S.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Some of
So
those
instead of like $1 million houses, it's like 250,000. So it's like with the amount of money that we had from it, because the house that my dad built in Toronto, because like the house prices again went up like crazy, so he sold it.
Yeah.
Pretty big income from it. It's just that's the thing where we were able to make like quite a large amount of money off of it, but the government didn't like it. So the thing is, originally we were supposed to live in the house, but like tax guys didn't think of it that way. So they were going after him, trying to get like $250,000 worth of taxes out of it.
Oh my gosh!
You know what I mean? So like he has to come up with like a whole report and stuff like that, so that they wouldn't
Yeah.
go after it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this was like probably 2 to 3 years after it actually happened.
Wow.
So it's like
They realized a little late.
Yeah, somebody just had nothing better to do but to try to find
Yeah.
like some guy that
Like this one here.
Yeah,
looks
like this-
sus. Let's go
yeah.
after this family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
So he go to the U.S. and he
Yeah.
builds a house there or something.
yeah, so we first day with 2 houses. There was this one house in Williamsville. Again, I forget the address, but pretty nice
I
neighborhood.
don't even know the address here.
And I mean, it's fine.
whole
It's not
different
bad.
story.
But it was this really old house. It was like over 200 years old. I'm pretty sure.
What the heck? That's like
Yeah.
a historical landmark.
Yeah,
that
like it
house.
was really old. Where
Doesn't those houses get protected by the government for history purposes?
I mean,
know
there
some
was
of
a
them
whole
do.
bunch of renovations.
Some of them I
that-
do.
like, no.
It didn't have any
was-
value
yeah, it didn't
anymore
have any.
historically. Okay, just an old house. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the thing is, he was renovating in there, and the thing is, there was this one law where you can only have 2 layers of shingles on a roof, and I don't know how many shingles they had it there, but it was like probably a foot worth of shingles.
What's
on the roof.
shingles?
So those are
Roof
like the things
tiles?
that. Okay, so when you build a house, you just have wood, and then you put like a moisture barrier. So like if Tyvek is one of the things, it's pretty much just a layer so that the wood doesn't rot.
Oh, okay.
And then you have like these. I mean, if you look in a house, that like patterny stuff that you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are where the shingles are. So pretty much.
So they're kind of like the bricky things.
They're. It's just a waterproof layer that you put on the house.
All right. They just had like many layers.
Yeah, and the thing is, because they make it up of like, I don't know for sure what the materials are, but it's like some fibrous material that they mix with asphalt, and then they cover it with rocks.
Why can't you have so many of it? Does it get
because
too heavy
it's
on the
really
roof?
heavy. That's
and the roof is gonna fall in.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So like incredibly huge amount of shingles on it. So something like the whole roof probably would have been over like a few tons if you were to think about it.
Wow, so it's like on the brink of falling in or something.
Yeah, and the thing is, at that time, there's another like historical thing, but it's not really important. Where the wood that they used in the past was a lot thicker than they use now.
Okay.
At least like with something, so the roof probably would have been able to do it. The thing is, like the 200-year-old wood, it was completely black. So like it was just exposed to like the elements so long that
it was like basically rotted on the inside.
No, it wasn't rotten. It was just black. So I don't know how it like happened, or like chemistry wise, but yeah. So that was one
peculiar house.
Another interesting thing was that in one of the walls there was a bottle of mercury.
What?
Like one of those baby jars for like baby food.
Why?
Food. I don't know. Again, like just as Samuel Alfano said, sometimes construction workers just want to put a little bit of something in the wall. And
they want to put a bottle of mercury.
So they put a bottle of mercury. So one of this is kind of like it's really bad that this happened, but one of the construction workers, he said, "Oh, I have a chemist friend. I'll give it to him." And then like later on, like a few months, my dad asked him, "Okay, what did you do with the mercury?" And he said, "Oh, I just threw it out, like just into some random bin." And then my dad was like, "No, what the hell did you do?" It's like, that's so bad. Why would you just dump out something that's so toxic into like a random garbage bin?
Wait, so what would you do with that? How would you get rid of that thing?
I mean, you can use it for chemistry. So.
Okay. Yeah. Huh. So wait, so how did this relate to you getting all those fishing poles?
So one of the houses had a whole bunch of fishing equipment.
Oh, right. And it was just like left there.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So that one house, which is like really old, that had a bottle of mercury in it. And then there was this one other house in like Chiquianjaga or something like that. I don't know. It's some First Nations name. But in that neighborhood, there was like, the house had a whole bunch of like old stuff in it. So they had a whole bunch of records. The thing is, at that time, I wasn't into records, so I didn't really take much. But they had like
those could have been like some money in
that. That's
right?
the thing. Like she had like probably 6 to 8 milk cartons full of records.
Oh my god, that could have been a great investment opportunity.
Yeah. And they also had like a typewriter. That's there. So I took the typewriter and then like a whole bunch. of
screw the records.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I was kind of disappointed because that would have been worth quite a bit.
Yeah. So what happened to the records? Some other guy.
We just didn't take them. So probably somebody else, like some other construction worker that worked there.
Yeah, lucky bastard.
Because he started this before COVID. And another funny story where we sold the one of the houses before COVID, and like we got a good amount of money like made from it.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, as COVID started, what happened was like you would just have like a harder time getting into the US. And the thing is, like normally during the construction, he would go like, let's say every week to check up on what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But then when COVID started, they were like closing the border and stuff like that. And like the very last day before the border closed, we had to go to one of the houses to finish like painting the trim around the windows.
Okay.
Because the thing is, again, this is like one of the small tasks where it's not worth it to have somebody.
Some contractor, like you just do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
Right?
So the thing is, when we were going through the border, there was this one old guy, and we had to like give a really good explanation as to why we have to go there. And then he just didn't get it for some reason. So he was saying stuff like, all financial institutions are closed and whatnot. Because he thought that like we had to go to the bank or something like that. Huh. So like he just didn't get that we were selling a house and that we have to finish it off before like the people take it. Anyway, so he turned us around, and there was this like one guy that was writing our license plate down and stuff like that, like the way back to Canada. And then like he came to our window, and it was like some young guy that actually had a clue to what he was doing. And then he asked us like, why did you get turned around? My dad told him the same explanation. He was like, yeah, no problem. He ripped the paper up, and then we went back to the US and we were able to finish it off.
Oh, nice.
The thing is, we found out later that if we went back, then we wouldn't have been able to go to the US for 5 years. Because that was like kind of breaking the law type of thing.
Was it what? Was you put on the blacklist from that interaction?
Kind of. So it's like honestly crazy how close we were.
Jeez, that would have been horrible then. That would have been horrible.
And the thing is, the day
lucky you met that young guy.
So the day that we were doing it was like it was really cold and extremely windy. So when we were painting it, we would have our brush, we would lift it up, and then the wind would just splatter into the sides. So you would have, instead of the paint dripping down, you would just have it going there. So like we did a whole bunch of like cleaning up. We would kind of like paint it on a bit, and then like we'd have to clean up all the splatter that went onto the like, other parts of the exterior of the house.
How far was the drive down to the US? How far was the house from here?
It was like
a couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that this was in Burlington, so compared to Toronto,
probably like
maybe like 2 hours, I'd say.
2 hours?
A little bit less.
Oh,
Because
that's not that bad,
most of it was just waiting at the. I mean, not most of it, but a good part of it was waiting at the border if there's like a long lineup.
I see.
So like, I mean, you got lucky. Maybe like you'd have to wait 30 minutes plus at the border. So that, I mean, that was the most tedious part of the journey. And then there was this one time where, I mean, it was like all last minute. So my dad forgot to bring his wallet somehow, and we had no money to buy food. So that was kind of sad. Yeah, so we just like went the full day without food and water when we were painting.
That's so sad. It was a horrible day, honestly. Gosh.
Anyways, so yeah, that's the house that we sold money off of it. But then the other house, which was like really old, 200-year-old, that one we weren't able to do anything about. And because my dad wasn't able to check on it, the workers would slowly screw him over more and more as they saw that they were able to take advantage of someone like that, because there's nothing that my dad could do about it. So like they would say, "Oh, I need this amount of money to finish it," and then they would just leave. You know what I mean? So we lost a huge amount of money on that house. So pretty much all of the money that we made on that one house, we lost and more.
Man, that sucks.
So my dad pretty much gave up on that. So now he has a different type of business, self-storage, and it's on Golden Lake, where pretty much there's people that want to store their things.
Right.
So you just rent out a garage, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So it's near Ottawa, and like we go there, and that's a source of wood that we have. So we got a wood burning like stove. So that's part of like one way that we heat our house. We just go there because it's 3 acres, and then 2 acres is just like the garages and stuff like that. There's a bit of grass, but they also is a forest.
Oh, and you just go there and harvest wood.
Yeah. This thing is like some of the trees are dead, so we just chop those down. And then
that sounds fun, man. That sounds fun.
And there's also a lake, like Golden Lake, that's pretty much right across the street.
That's so nice.
From it. So yeah, like, I mean, if it's nice, yeah. I mean, we haven't gone yet because it's like mostly just business that we would go there for. Or like if you have to fix something up, mow the grass, let's say. When we get the opportunity, then we would be going there for like other activities.
That sounds fun. Yeah. Okay, I want to ask you this question. I've asked everybody. Out of your high school experience, what was your favorite subject?
Okay, I know this is a little weird, but so I really liked grade 11 physics, and the reason why is before then, when I would see deltas and t's and stuff like that with the vector symbols, I was just really scared of those. So I would like
you're scared of them.
Yeah, so like I would just freak out. So there was this one thing that I wanted to do like physics wise, where I wanted to make a plane that would have like, let's say, water balloons in it, and it would have to predict like where the water balloons would land. So I knew like
some momentum stuff as well.
Yeah, like projectile motion.
Where
you have a certain height off the ground, and then you have how fast the airplane's going.
So it's like a culminating question.
Yes. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to make an equation for like what angle you would have to tilt the camera with a crosshair on it so that it would land on that one spot when you release it.
Oh, that sounds like a fun project.
Yeah, so I asked Mr. Coltman in grade 10, and like he was just showing me all like the symbols and stuff. And it absolutely freaked me out. So like I was really happy after.
That's funny. Like, oh no, those variables with the arrows on them.
Yeah, what are those? Yeah, that freaked me out. So grade 11 physics was definitely like one of my best classes for sure.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's a
lot of physics though, not so much.
No, why not?
Because at that point, because the thing is, now I understood my dad's textbooks. So if I wanted to learn more stuff about physics, then I would just be able to read it.
You rather like the textbook, I guess.
Yeah. And another class that I really liked, which I was kind of like forced to take actually, was the photography in grade 11.
Oh yeah, I wanted to take something like that, but I didn't have any prerequisites.
Yeah, so I just had to take like an art credit, so that was the only one that didn't need any prerequisites.
You like photography? Yeah. I really wanted to do that.
I knew photography from like the technical side, but I never knew about like
artistic side.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right.
And all those artistic things I learned, and it's honestly like the amount of psychology that I learned from that photography class was honestly crazy. Like I would have never been able to come up with it. There's specific techniques like it's called the rule of thirds, where imagine you have, let's say you have your frame, and then you chop it up into like thirds, so it would be like a 9 by 9 grid. And you want to, let's say, align the horizon with like the top third line or the bottom third line, or if there's something interesting, then you would put it like on the intersections of those lines, let's say.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting.
So
like
stuff
the psychology playing
yeah.
into photography, right?
So stuff like, let's say you want to take a picture with a lot of parallel lines. You want those parallel lines to join to the center, and then you want to have the most important thing at the center of it. Or if you want to have like different contrasts of color, let's say. So all those things I would have never been able to come up like by myself.
No chemistry? No chemistry, your favorite subject? I thought
no,
like,
the
you
thing
were
is
a
like in
chemistry
chemistry,
guy. Or is it so boring because you know it all?
No, that's the thing. So
is that the thing?
From grade 9 to the first part, like the first half of grade 11, I didn't really learn anything in chemistry.
I see. You know everything.
Yeah.
You knew everything.
Because the thing is, like, the stuff that I would just do for fun would be those things.
Yeah, iodine clock, like when you did in grade 7.
Yeah. And then after that, there would be things that I would learn. But the thing is, I wasn't really able to appreciate it because I never had a reason for knowing it, let's say. So like, all these equilibrium things, like I didn't really have any context to it, so I didn't find it that useful.
Right. That's like the education thing we're going to talk about.
So I mean, that's going to be like later on, obviously.
Yeah. And
quite a bit longer.
What about biology? How do you
biology?
How do you
I really liked. Yeah, that's another.
Grade 11 or grade 12?
So I liked grade 11 a lot. I think it's though just Miss Van was teaching it. The thing is,
like Miss Van?
I thought she was like a little bit scary because like I would just walk into her
I
class
got bullied
with like
by
other
Miss Van.
students, and like she would have such a stern face on it.
I don't think you were in my class, right? For
Probably
biology.
not, no.
You were not there with Miss Van. She would point me out during experiments and say, "Angus, I know you'll mess it up." That's so funny.
No, I was there in grade 11.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I know she singled me out. So funny. What was your favorite unit in biology? Was it like human anatomy or like organ system? My favorite.
I mean, I like the chemistry part of it. So
chemistry part of it?
Yeah.
Or biology?
I'd say.
Did we do anything on that?
Yeah, a little bit like macromolecules.
Oh, I don't even remember that. I know my favorite was like diversity and like the Charles Darwin tree of life. That was my favorite part because I like the animal stuff. I feel like human organs are kind of disgusting.
I see. And the thing is, I wasn't. I mean,
you were there. You were the guy that skinned the rat for us. You had the perfect hood. Yeah.
So the thing is, I wasn't intending on taking biology in grade 12 because I wanted to take history. I hadn't really taken any history.
Me too.
Classes
I was going to take history as well.
But then there was this one place that I went to over the break or in a March break in grade 11. It was like this one place up north. I forget the city, but there was this one guy that was there, and he was an Olympic athlete dietitian. So like all of the biology stuff taught me about. So that made me super interested in biology.
How'd you meet him?
So my mom just kind of wanted me to go into this like one thing.
Was it like an exhibition or was it like some sort of camp or something?
I mean, you would go there every few weeks and they would kind of have like talks, food and stuff.
Oh, right. So it's like an exhibit thing.
The thing is like, they didn't treat me very nicely there because like, this was all kind of like Arabic stuff. And the thing is just like the cultural difference was too big. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really able to like interact that well. Well, I mean, that guy was really nice there. So I learned a whole bunch of stuff.
That'd be so cool, dude. Olympic like dietitian.
Yeah.
If you vibe with this combo, drop a like, leave a comment, and hit that sub button. We'll catch you next time on Different Walks, Different Talks.